Can you beat Final Fantasy VI with no Gil whatsoever? Well, simply, all we have to do is progress through the game as normal without buying anything from any shops. Proceed as you can all the way until you get to the scenario choices. Go through Terra unlocks, and then when you get to Zabins, it's merely a case of, I cannot do it! I spent so long trying to find a workaround, but no. You have to buy a freaking piece of dried meat to get Gao. This is not optional. It sucks. You have to buy meat to feed a wild kid, just so you can get a helmet you can find on your own. But no, they have to make it so that you need Gal to find it. It hurts. It hurts. So no, you cannot beat Final Fantasy VI without Gil whatsoever. Fail. It's been 4 games in a row that I can beat it without Gil. And this just stops it. Over some meat.
Are you okay?
No.
You know, we can keep going and just make sure we can use the minimum amount of Gil.
I guess. It's just defeating, you know.
Oh, come on. We got a video to finish.
Okay.
So, what do we need now? And what can't we buy?
Well, you cannot buy free espers. So those 3 are out. Which one of them sucks because it's a magic boosting one. So it's more difficult to max out more spellcasting characters. But it's not impossible to max out their magic. Just need to wait a bit later on in the game.
Okay. Let's get our mojo back, man.
You're right, good bro. Okay, so what we need to do is when we get to Zozo, pick up the chainsaw for Edgar. That is one of his most damaging tools. And then we proceed through the game as normal until we get to Famasa. Shouldn't be too much of a problem, right? Oh, and to get the chainsaw on Zozo, it's the clock puzzle. The solution is 6, 10, 50. So you don't have to worry about that later. Now, back to Famasa, or onward to Famasa. Hello, welcome to Famasa Inn. There would be, 10,000 gil to stay the night. But we've already talked to Strago. Oh, you know Strago? Then there will be 1 gil. Really? 1 gil? Can't you just make it cost nothing? No, it has to be 1 gil.
You'd think they'd just make it cost nothing at that point instead of just making us spend a single gil.
Yep, you'd think so too. Huh.
By the way, who is this guy?
Oh, this is the guy with the mustache.
Huh?
A few years back, I did self-insert parodies of games and anime, and whenever I needed a gag or something involving a shopkeeper, he's basically just like a stereotype for it. You know, so I don't have to constantly think of new shopkeepers every single time, you know?
Wow. That kind of sounds lazy.
Yeah, but the gag is there. Whenever you see him, you know you have to buy something or as part of a shop. It's good to be back. The cold basement. It's scary. Please don't put me back. Okay, now, that was a thing. Anywho, what you need to do, things to keep in mind, are first to make sure you steal a debilitator from the Air Force fight, and it's stolen from the missile bay. Now, because of that, this will give you some handy tricks. And if you open up all the chests up to this point, you should find 2 reflect rings. This way, it will make some spellcasting bosses ahead of the time. Well, they're still going to be a bit rough, but at least you got a way to counter them and make them so they hit their own weaknesses. Then proceed as normal, and in Daryl's tomb, pick up the AP, or is it growth? Growth egg. Yeah, that's it. The growth egg to double XP gain for a single character. It's also to note you can grab a second one later in the game if you perfectly do the banquet with the Emperor. Upon doing that, all you need to do now is quite simply proceed the game as normal. Make sure your party's within like level 20, 25. That should help you through the rest of it. And then it's time to get back some characters for the end game. Hello, I'm back, bitch. Oh God, what now? We're in Zozo, and there is a rusted door up top. I've got something that will clear all that rust right away. But, you're gonna have to give me 1,000 gil for it.
Do we really need this? Or...
No, this is completely optional, but this gives us access to Cyan, and he's way too good for me to pass up.
what makes him good?
He's got a 0 MP attacks that can hit 4 times in a row. Now, up against single targeted bosses, this is amazing, because you can max out his attack, and then you just constantly deal 4 sets of 9999 damage to things.
Oh. So, you're choosing to increase the budget by 1,000 just to get a singular character.
Yep. Yep, this one's on me, not on the game. If this were like Gao or something, I'd pass it up, but nope. Time to bite the bullet.
So, yeah. Well. By the way, what do you have against Gao anyway?
Because I had to feed him dry meat. I'm still sore about that.
Oh.
Am I going back to the basement? We'll see. We will see. Guy with the mustache. I'm scared. Next step is get all the characters you can. Then head to the Coliseum. Save outside. This is a hard save. Then bet the titanium bloom or whatever it's called that you got from perfectly doing the banquet with the emperor. This will give you a second growth egg. And then what you need to do is you'll have the dragoon boots at this point if you've opened up all the chests. When you go to the Phoenix Cave to get Locke, you then, near the end of it, get a dragon horn, which is a chest right by the ancient dragon, or whatever it is. This will make a character learn jump instead of attack, but also hit 2 to 4 times. Max out strength by using Bismarck, and also max out magic by getting the frozen Esper and Narsh. Once you do that, go through the game normally. Although I do recommend, if you chose to get Cyan, like I did, complete his quest by going back to Doma Castle and taking a rest in the bedchamber. By doing that, you can get your hands on a second Esper that gives +2 strength on level up. And just go through the game normally. Best place to level up would be Dinosaur Forest, which will hurt. You'll need to save constantly. And with that is Final Fantasy VI beaten with almost minimum Gil. I would say minimum Gil, but plus 1,000 to get Cyan back. But yeah, that's that. And with that, that's the first 6 games done. I did it on the Pixel Remaster, but yeah. Overall, the experience is very interesting. It goes to show how little you actually need to buy things in the game in order to beat them. Especially in the case in Final Fantasy 2 to 5. It's actually an interesting way to play. And if anyone watching wants to try it, I actually recommend it. I don't really recommend doing it in the first game though, because you're extremely limited in that one. It's possible to do it, but it's too limited. also, it's pretty simple. It's an interesting experience, and if you all enjoyed watching this, then thank you. And if you haven't watched the previous ones, I highly recommend it. And that's that. Thank you for watching. And I guess I'll see you all another time. Mayhaps in Midgar. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm doing Final Fantasy VII after this. Bye.